Hello, thank you for that, Andy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here on this important day. Because I see out of the darkness as a call to action, and that's an important call to action. As you and all of you are taking that call. As you know, suicide is a difficult topic for most people to talk about, but you all are here coming together as a community to save lives, and that's very commendable. So when I was asked to speak, I figured 2020 would be a good place to start because, as we all know, it's been a depressing year for many. And we have a few more months to go, sadly to say. So, starting with COVID, over 200,000 deaths, and the number continues to grow. Enormous grief all around, shelter in place, and the isolation that it's caused, and the financial hardships because of the unemployment rate and the evictions that are happening. There's so much going on. And the distant learning for our students from elementary school all the way to college. I'm seeing some young people now, and they're stressing because of the isolation, not going to classes. And so the depression is rising. And then we have the Black Lives Matter movement, police brutality, and all the rallies and the protests. People are questioning their existence. So stress levels are up, anxiety's up, and fear. People are afraid to leave their homes. And then we get the fires. That's a lot of loss, a lot of loss with those fires and COVID and health issues. And we have the election, the upcoming election, and that is causing people a lot of stress. People are talking about it in my sessions. Depression right now is at an all-time high. And so we have to keep the light shining bright. And you are helping with that, this community and all the communities. So I'm going to give you, I know people don't like these statistics, but I'm just going to give you a few. 2020, they say every 20 seconds somebody will die by suicide. 2019, it was registered that 800,000 people around the world died by suicide. That's one every 20 seconds. Suicide is serious, real serious. Teens attempt suicide every 2 hours, and that number is increasing. For people ages 10 to the early 30s, suicide is the second leading cause of death. That's one thing about suicide is that it has no boundaries. It affects all demographics, cultural, race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, the poor, the rich, and all the in between. It's real. We all have gathered here. We see suicide. We have a different relationship to suicide. You have your own reason for being here today to participate in this out of the darkness walk. Some of you lost someone and you're honoring them. And I'm sorry for your loss. Some of you know someone who has attempted suicide. Maybe you have. Maybe you have considered it. Maybe you have had a traumatic situation that caused you to think about ending your life. No matter the situation or the reason, the common denominator we share right now, here today, is that we don't want to lose another life to suicide. Early on, I want to just share a little bit. Early on in my training to be a psychotherapist, I was fearful of a client coming in, sitting across from me who was suicidal. Because my goal of becoming a psychotherapist was to save lives, to empower people, to help them love themselves, and live happy and emotional, healthy lives. I didn't talk about my fear. No, I didn't want anyone to think I was weak or to appear weak as a therapist. That was my issue. I wasn't even the one contemplating suicide. So if I felt what I felt, how do you think people feel? How do you think someone else feels about taking their own life? This is why out of the darkness is exactly what needs to happen. We need to bring suicide into the light more often than not. Eventually, though, I did learn to let go of my fear and focus on saving lives. I listen to people for a living. That's what I do. People are hurting and they need help. These are the people inside my office. We need more resources for the BIPOC community, the Black, Indigenous, people of color. We need resources. They need to receive mental health services. Having casual conversation, I say this to people all the time, having casual conversations with people in your life, many times, you're not going to know, their struggles because they're not going to let you know all the time. They're not going to let you know. The people in your lives might be experiencing or having experienced some type of trauma. Trauma causes people to have suicidal thoughts and ideations, like sexual and emotional and verbal abuse, domestic violence, encountered racism, like police brutality. That's harsh, very traumatic. Toxic relationships. I see couples and the hostility between them causes depression, causes anxiety and fear. Violence of any kind. These are people to people issues. People hurting people. I really want to make that clear. We have to do better with each other, and we have to do better for each other. I have to talk about bullying. Bullying is a major issue in schools. I have young people talking about bullying. I have older clients talking about bullying. And there's bullying in the workplace. Every time I hear of an adult committing suicide or taking their lives because of bullying, I become very angry. I become so upset. I just wish that I could be there to help bring them out of that dark place. Remembering Honorable Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she says that do something positive with your anger. I was doing something positive with my anger. I always try and do something positive with my anger. And when I'm upset about something, that means something needs to be done or some action needs to be taken. I heard about a 12-year-old taking her life because of bullying. And then soon after that, I heard about a nurse, a caregiver, somebody's helping us to save lives, was being bullied in her workplace. So I decided to take action at that point. So I wrote a musical on the theme, on the topic of bullying, to show the effects of bullying and to also share a solution to bullying. But then COVID hit, and so I had to postpone it. But I will continue that, and that will be produced because it's too important to not. They're kids and adults, they're being bullied because of differences. LGBTQ people are being bullied, disabled, overweight, underweight, Black, brown, powerless. It's too much. People to people hurting each other. Teachers and administrators have to do better. Adults have to protect the children. Their pain is so deep, and the only choice they think they have is to end their lives by suicide. I've had people, young people, tell me they want to harm themselves and kill themselves. So young. Just recently, at one of the Black Lives Matters events that I spoke at, it was very, very disturbing. I mean, I was sitting there, tears rolling from my face, so disturbed by the many stories about kids being bullied and not protected by the teachers and administrators. Another statistic: 5 to 12-year-olds, Black children, are twice as likely to die by suicide than white children. We have to do better. We have to do better with each other. I want you to know that shame and fear and feeling unworthy and hopeless stops suicidal people from disclosing what's ailing them. We have to keep shining the light. Reach out to those in need. I've had a friend commit suicide some years ago. We were young adults at the time. It was so shocking to me to receive a call from her family because we had just spoken, a week or two prior. I asked myself, was she just checking in to say goodbye? Or, and then I asked myself, what did I miss? What did I miss? And I hear people and clients and friends and family talk about, what did I miss? What did we miss? I had no idea she was struggling. Another friend had several attempts, and each time she damaged her internal organs. And just recently, I had a dear friend call me 3 to 4 times a day, about 2 weeks straight, threatening to take her life. I like to say she was trying to hang on to living, knowing she would have to start over because she had lost everything. She had lost everything that was important to her. I stayed steady. I stayed with her, just offering her hope, talking to her, letting her know it's going to be okay, that she can do this, just trying to build her up. And so, yes, you're asking, you're thinking, yes, she's alive and she's sober and has made new family connections, which was important for her to have some support, some family around her. We have to continue to shine the light and bringing awareness and prevention to suicide, as you've heard just in the bit that I've shared with you, because it's all around us. As a community, you are saving lives. To continue this work, I wanted to offer you some points, some important points that I thought would, I hope will serve and help you. And these are ways that I help my clients stay involved and present in their lives. So number one is called a check-in. Check in. Ask the people around you how they are. Don't let them change the subject. You know that they can do that and they can redirect the conversation. How many times have you asked a friend, how are you? How they were, right? And what do they say? Fine. When they weren't fine. We all do it. They do it. We do it a lot. This is how we talk. This is how we communicate with one another. This has to change. So what do? When someone asks you? When someone not asks you, when someone says fine, you look them straight in the eye and you say, how fine are you really? And you stay interested. Let them know that you're interested. It's hard for people to be vulnerable. I know that. Even in my practice, people are hard. They're there sitting and they want to say much. They want to say so much, but it's hard. It takes time. It takes building rapport. So let them know that you're interested. They don't want to burden you. And they don't really know that you care. You got to let them know that you care. So let them feel you caring about them. And I want you to also know that there are many ways that people are attempting to numb their pain and to think about killing themselves. Self destructive behaviors like self harm and alcohol and drug abuse. So when you see this in your people around you, check in with them. Don't ignore it. Encourage them to get help. Bring them out of the darkness. Number two, I use this expression with my clients all the time when they come in. I say, my work is about helping you remove your blinders. So, working with clients for over 25 years, excuse me, I have something in my eye here. I know people often have their blinders on. They're not seeing right, what's right in front of them. They're avoiding the truth, believing it's not my problem. I don't want to get involved, or just fear, just being fearful of the outcome. It's hard for people to see and acknowledge the reality of their lives. Pay attention to the signs of sexual abuse, violence, bullying. Don't ignore the signs of isolation and depression or behavior changes. If you see behavior changes in your children or the adults around you, you have to address it. Talk to them. Stay present. Stay engaged. Number three, treat the people you love with respect. Beware of your language. Words hurt. Use words that build self esteem, not break them down. Not break them down, not break your people down. We have to be kind. This reminds me of a story, a quick story. When I was working at a treatment center in San Anselmo years back, we had 4 cottages, and I was in an intensive care cottage, and then there was a girls' cottage. And so we got emergency call that they needed help. That somebody was trying to take their lives. And so I went over, and I was one staff on one arm, and we had staff trying to take the razor blade out of the young woman's uh, hand, and we had another staff on one side. And my instinct was to just talk to her down, you're okay, we're here, we got you. Um, just kind of offering her hope in that way. And lo and behold, maybe 15, 20 years later, I met up with this woman, a woman now, and she told me I saved her life. And it was like, wow, that's a big statement. And I wanted to know more. And she said, I felt safe with you. I felt that you heard me. I didn't feel judged by you. And, sometimes when you're in TIS moments working in group homes, you don't think straight and think clearly and you say things. And so I just tried to stay grounded with her, and she appreciated that. So people are listening, people are paying attention to your words. Continue to encourage the people around you. Be honest with them. Let them know you care about them. Talk about suicide and other hard issues with your kids. I tell parents all the time, I say, your kids know more than you think they know. Kids listen. They listen, y'all. They pay attention when you don't think they are. They also get information from their friends and social media. Talk about your feelings and your challenges, and your kids and your loved ones will talk about theirs. And that is a fact. I see it and I hear it all the time. So I'm going to end with this. We need to walk, we need to run, we need to shout about suicide every day. We have to let people know they have other options than suicide. We need to protect people, our young, our old, our vets, and people down on their luck. We need to protect each other. We have to keep the light shining. Out of the darkness is hope. Hope is in this community. communities all around the country coming together to help. Remember, remember, you're not alone. Help is here. You got to take it. Take the help because your life matters. You, all of you, are the light that's making a difference. Because of you, you're taking action. So go and walk for your loved ones, for all the lives your devotion will save. Thank you. And thank you for having me today to talk to you. Thank you.